Hi, I'm Nathaniel Blume, and I'm a nootbar. And I'm talking about my album Nootbar, specifically the track Fading, which is sandwiched in between the two songs that we've talked about so far. This one is purely instrumental-ish, and we'll talk about that. I think in retrospect, I was probably subconsciously inspired by Radiohead's Treefingers, which is on the album Kid A, also a very influential album to me. And that track is also sandwiched in between two songs, purely instrumental. It's kind of this atmospheric transitional track in the album. And that's sort of the purpose that this track serves as well. Toward the beginning, you actually do hear my voice, although it might not sound like it. Here it is without all of the plugins. And ultimately, I decided that that pure vocal tone was not really the right vibe for this track. If you know what the album Nootbar is about and that it's inspired by my father's battle with dementia, then you can probably guess what the title of this track, Fading, is referring to. And conceptually, there are some elements of this track that are directly inspired by that. So here, I definitely wanted to cover this pure vocal tone, and I put a lot of plugins on it, and I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just point out probably the one that's doing the most work here is this tube distortion plugin that's made by Arturia. Once these are on there, I double this with a synth. I think I make it even a little bit more interesting. Another concept, this piano part starts on a software instrument, but it's of course a recorded live piano. And this theme is a cyclical motive, rather, that just kind of rolls over and over again through this track, but it gets changed slightly here and there. And one way that it gets changed is little by little, it becomes more and more synthetic sounding, so you get less of the pure piano. And here, when it comes back, you get this. And again, here. And so little by little, it's morphing until the end of the track where we get the pure piano back and strings come in. Those strings were recorded at Warner Brothers Studios in Burbank with a lot of my friends to help produce it and make it sound fantastic. So I hope you enjoy that part of the song. The last thing that I'll point out here is, if you recall back in the song One More Day, there's some sound effect E-type noises that sound like this. It's just this descending sound that's being done with Soundtoys Crystallizer. Specifically, the setting is called Unplug a Duck, which is a great name, but it basically takes that sound and alters it and sends it down this cascading line. So in this track, we get that vibe instrumentally with the synths. It's not using that plug-in, I'm just mimicking that. And then the strings play it as well. For instance, here. This is another motivic idea that I put in this track to try to tie it to the rest of the album and make it feel like a cohesive piece. You can also tell when the strings are in here at the end, it turns and it becomes a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more optimistic, which is where I wanted the album to end up in general. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I hope you'll join me for the next video.